Okay, good afternoon, guys, and I hope I caught you on time. I'm a very punctual person, so I had to start at exactly 2 o'clock because we had agreed that we're starting at 2 o'clock. So do let me know if you can hear me clearly. I hope the sound is loud and clear. Just for those who've never met me before, my name is Mo Blessings Shoko. Professionally, they call me Dr. Mo Blessings Shoko, but I prefer to be called by just my first name or Shoko, whichever you prefer. Maybe what I did to make this easier, I didn't know how best you wanted to go about the live video. So I prepared myself a set of questions, just about 6 or 7 questions that I'll respond to and share with you. And then as you engage me, if you're asking any questions or anything pops up while I come along, or while I go along rather, I can then respond to that. Then to start off with, following my list, just a basic intro. The name is Mo Blessings Shoko, born and bred in Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. I was raised in a family of 4 children. We're actually 5. I lost my other brother when I was around 20. So we're really 4 now. My eldest brother is based in Cheltenham in the United Kingdom. Then comes me. So I'm the second born and the eldest girl. And after me, there are 2 younger girls. Well, my younger sister's not so young now. They're mothers now, so they're not so young. So 2 siblings behind me. I was given the name More Blessing mainly because my parents felt I was a blessing because I was the first girl after a series of boys. There were the 2 boys ahead of me, and then they really wanted a girl. And then suddenly there I was, and my mom tells me about how I was a bouncing baby, and they named me More Blessing. So the name More Blessing came up. And well, as I studied high school, I went to Evelyn University, I went to Midland State University. I also studied at the University of Twente in the Netherlands, also studied at the University of Cape Town. I've interacted with a number of universities since, as you already know, I am in academia. So education is sort of like my area of interest. And basically a career history. After completing my first degree in land surveying, like most young people, I wasn't feeling it. We went to MSU at a time when we used to do our practicals with the yom. I don't know if you've seen the yom, the theodolite. It was this orange thing that was just so old and there were so few. So when I completed my studies at MSU, I passed very well. I'd done well and I felt okay. I chose this program, but I wasn't sure that I really wanted to practice or what. So for a while, I took up an opportunity as a management trainee at the Edgar's Group of Stores. I went through the management. It was more like I take it as a gap year, but when I did it, I did not realize it was a gap year. I was just thinking, I'm not so sure yet what I want to do. I'm not so sure if I want to go and join, work with a registered land surveyor or work in the land ministry or what. So I took on an opportunity with the Edgar's Group of Stores as a management trainee. I did that for a year or two. And then you know what, I got to a point where I was figuring out, well, after all this it's exciting, retail, it was exciting, it was fast, and I was moving quite fast. Oh, Shelley's here. So I was moving quite fast as well up the ladder, but I got to a point where I asked myself, the biggest challenge with that opportunity was I felt I wasn't using what I had gone to school for. So I started reaching up back to my alma mater, which is MSU, and saying, you guys, do you have any teaching opportunities or do you have anything I can get engaged in? Actually, I forgot. I also went and worked with Tonya. We used to call him DJ. He doesn't know. Behind his back, we'd call him DJ, like private land surveyor Tonya in Bulawayo, where I was considering moving over to Botswana. I think I had gotten a place in Francistown where I could do articles and possibly register. So before that, I left Edgar's and I joined private land surveyor Tonye and did some cadastral surveying there. While I was with Tonye, I then got an opportunity to go to the Netherlands and study my master's. I did a master's in geoinformation, and that's where I developed a love or an interest for photogrammetry. I was actually inspired by my supervisor there and ended up pursuing more photogrammetry and applications of land survey in the photogrammetric network. Yeah, big youth network. Yay, hey, okay, let me respond. So after that, I then later joined the Midland State University where I served as a lecturer, later senior lecturer since 2011. I later left MSU but it was the best years of my life. I enjoyed. I am someone who is very enthusiastic about young people. I love seeing first year students coming in. They're innocent, they're fresh, they are still, they're still very excited about education, and I see them slowly change. I see them change from skirts to jeans when it's the girls. I see the boys starting to drink. I see them also growing in terms of knowledge and developing into a young adult who's going to change the world. And at the end of the day, they're able to, enter the industry and make a difference. It's always something that I find very exciting. So, well, that's about it in terms of career history. Then the next question that I gave myself was, what was my greatest ambition, and did I want to be a land surveyor from the beginning? I won't lie, I wanted to be a civil engineer. I just was inspired by that. I had a cousin who was a civil engineer and was making lots of money. So when I went to high school and I chose MPC, initially I thought, well, I'm going to be a doctor. When I saw my mid-year results before I wrote my finals and I saw I didn't score too high, I thought, maybe, well, civil engineering is worth pursuing. So I wanted to be a civil engineer, but I applied and I didn't get it, and I got MSU. So I said, okay, I'll take survey and geomatics. That's how I landed up in the geomatics profession. Then my next question, because I'm following a list, the next one is my definition of success. Because I'm speaking to an audience that is in the youth network, maybe to share with you, I'm doing my filming here. I've got my small phone that's my camera's on so that I can look all posh on the video, since it's also Women's Month representing women. So I also wanted the video to come out really nicely. So I made an effort to put the makeup, to put everything and look nice so that I could enjoy my 30 minutes or 20 minutes with you young people. So responding to the third question that I put down for myself to share with you guys is my definition of success. I do not believe there is a blanket or a box definition or a paper or any definition that can define success. I believe we define what is success to us. But to me, success is anything that gives you happiness in doing it. I'll give you a quick example. I'm a teacher. Lecturing is teaching. And within the profession, we are often looked down upon. I mean, people may not say it. The students we teach may be inspired by us, but our peers, our colleagues will think teaching is a place to retire. It's not the exciting part of the profession. But we must remember that if no one takes the responsibility to continue churning out young or churning out, let me just say young and old, whichever a learner, churning out learners or graduates that will get into industry and be the surveyors of tomorrow, if no one is responsible for that continuity, then the profession will die. So I'm saying this in response to a question that I posed to myself to share with you guys on what is success. And I'm saying, let me just ask if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me, and I hope your audio is loud. My voice is quite loud. And I'm saying that success is something that you define for yourself. No one can define what success is for you. It is that thing that gives you happiness when you do it. I'm happy when I'm teaching. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I am also involved in consultancy. You'll remember after the drone award, my life has really changed, and I've gone on to be a drone pilot and start my own consultancy in drone training. Okay, great. If you can, then great. So I've gone on and started my own consultancy in UAV and geoinformatics services. So that is something I do by the side, but it can never take away the passion that I have about teaching, about being a teacher, about education, about capacity building. Even in my drone practice, I'm trying to set up a unit which will take care of training, like training drone pilots. So you see, I'm trying to encourage you as young people don't be guided by anyone. In Shona, they say, follow what is in your heart. Each one of us is born grasping something. We're grasping something in our hands. We're all surveyors, but we all won't be cadastral surveyors. So follow what it is that God put in your hands. Follow what is your passion, and you'll find that is success. When you follow that fully, you find fulfillment. You'll find that you're happy. And I'd really encourage each and every one of you to try search within yourself that area of the profession, or not even of the profession. A first degree is just meant to be a stepping stone. So try and find that aspect of your life that drives you the most, that makes you the happiest. And you'll find when you pursue it, you will be happy and you will be, in your own terms, successful. And the next question, have I ever failed? I'm sure you're curious. Okay, great. Since being a PhD holder in geomatics, I'm sure most of you look and think maybe I've never fallen. I have fallen. I fall a lot of times. But you know what I've learned? The greatest glory is not in never failing. The greatest glory is not in never, you know, falling on the wrong side or getting disappointed or letting yourself down. You've set a goal, you don't meet it, or things are not going your way. You've studied so hard. Now you've completed your studies. You can't get a job. You started a business. You can't get the clients, or you're not getting the type of clients you want. I think the greatest glory is not in never falling, but in how you rise after you fall. So I have failed. I remember even I won't tell you what module I failed when I was at college, but yes, I have failed. I was quite an A student, always a bit outstanding, but I have failed. And when I fail, it hits me hard. But every time I've failed, I've redeemed myself by trying to do something great, something that will make me feel I can do it because I'm goal driven. I must say that what makes me goal driven is I was raised also by a very strong woman. I'm not disregarding my father. I was raised by my mom and my dad, but my mom would push us a lot. My mom would push us a lot. So I was raised by a strong woman. Can you imagine? We'd go to the field. We used to stay in town in Blawayo city center, but we'd be taken Kumunda, Masimini, we'd work, we'd do what, we'd wash dishes. We never had maids, we had to do everything. So from a very early age, we're taught to work for ourselves. But one thing that I really value that my parents taught me, may their dear souls rest in peace, they're both late, was to say, my father never put pressure on me to say, he never had those moments. Of course, we talk about, I really want you to be happy to grow up and meet a good man and, start your own family. But he never had a moment where he pressured me to be in a, marriage setup or anything. He always saw me just like you saw my brothers to say, I wish you achieve all the dreams that you want in whatever shape you want to design them. I wish you achieve it. And he'd always, be supportive about every little thing I do. Whenever I do well, he'd support. Whenever I didn't do well, he'd support. So just acknowledging the strength of parents and just family and friends support in, your journey from one point to another, something that is absolutely very important and that can make a very great difference in our lives. We are nothing without our loved ones. We're nothing without our friends. We're nothing without our families. We're nothing without Zig as well, because Zig is a family that I'm so proud to be a part of. Yes, Veronica, I'm looking fly. Yes, please. I made an effort. I knew I'd be a celeb, so I made an effort. So I'm going through the list. If you've just joined, we're 15 minutes into the going live, and I'm told that the maximum is really 30 minutes. So I'm left with only another 15 minutes to talk. And I've really gone through all these questions: basic intro, career history, greatest ambition, my definition of success, and have I ever failed? I've spoken about that. And how did I deal with it? How did I deal with it? I've said it passively. I'll try and find something that would, make me feel better. I'll give you an example. When I started my PhD, I'd just broken up with a guy I loved madly. And I thought, oh, stuff it. Man, suck, I'm going to do my PhD. And I went on, I did it. I'm just saying this not to, put down anyone or just one. But I'm trying to share that sometimes when you go through something that's really difficult, try and find a counter that will make you feel better. When I won the award in 2017, I just lost my mom. And I said to myself, I just want to, do something that will change my life and that will celebrate, the effort that my parents have invested in me. So I went on, I applied for that grant. I started this drone and sanitary pads thing. But it made me, it was a way to sit back or bounce back from something that was very difficult. So you find your own way. That is not necessarily the same as mine, but your own way of bouncing back from difficult things. And you find you always do it best when you do it from the heart. So when I work from the heart, I always perform the best. What is the next question? My passion in geomatics. I've already stated my passion is in capacity building. I am also interested in engineering, surveying, using image-based solutions for land and land-related problems, trying to see if how we can, do our profession cannot be left out in technological issues, things to do with innovation in our profession, things to do with driving the direction with policy involvement in our profession. So I may not always be tripod or something else, my phone. my light, my camera, light camera action. So the phone I put on my the light so that I look all bling bling. So it had fallen and I'm picking it up. So I'm saying that in the profession, I'm interested in education, in capacity building, in land and land management, in policy derivation, in shaping the direction, and also in the youth. Since I'm discussing with the youth network, I'm very interested in you and in making sure that I inspire you, I chat to you. When you're challenged, I give you direction, I give you advice. The decision is yours, but that you just have all the information that you require to make the best of your career choices. Then the next question, look, I'm only left with two. So we're literally almost at the end of the presentation. That is if you don't have any questions on your end. On my end, the next thing would be my view on innovation, youth roadmap for geomatics and things to do with innovation. I've always heard colleagues and friends tell me that I have a great mind. And sometimes I don't think so, because if you've interacted with me, you've seen me at my best, you've also seen me at my worst. But I think one thing that gives me my greatest strength is I never give up. I never give up. I never give up. I keep going. I keep trying. And when I believe that something can be done, I don't take no for an answer. I make sure I find a way. Saying I don't take no for an answer doesn't mean I'll force the way, but it means that I'll try find the best way to go around it and reach a comfortable solution. So my view, why am I saying this? I'm trying to address the response to my view on innovation, how the youth can be or be involved in a roadmap for geomatics. My view on innovation is simply create a place in your mind where anything is possible. Create a place in your mind where where you can dream, where you are not afraid, where nothing can hold you back. We have a lot of challenges even with the profession. I remember the Zig journey, the frustration. I remember with comrades Muri and Nemero and the entire executive, how we started out and we're talking of the frustration of being young people and not being able to do anything about, what's going on in our profession, feeling helpless, feeling as if our seniors are letting us down, and feeling we needed our own platform that could define what we believe should be the future of the profession. And those were very difficult times, and Zig has moved on, and now it's a movement that's worth reckoning with over 1,000 members. Phenomenal movement that is, going from point A to point B. And those things, what I'm trying to drive at is that would not have been possible if someone did not have a dream, if someone did not see a future beyond what is happening, the blockages that are going on today. And we must not be afraid as a people, we must not be afraid of, can I say, difficulties or obstacles or being criticized or being, like me, I'm often criticized. I can see Trevor is online, and Trevor, you'll agree with me. I'm hot-headed, and I'm often criticized as being appearing a bit forward. But if I was not like that, I wouldn't have achieved half the things I needed to achieve. Because remember, as a woman in a male-dominated profession, I have to say, and also even when you get into the PhD and academic area, you're also fighting other things. You're fighting race. You're possibly black among white, and there's a lot of things. It's not that you'll be put down, but you have to try twice as hard to make your voice heard. You have to try twice as hard to be recognized. You have to try twice as hard to be respected. It's the same thing with young people. You are a youth network. You have to try twice as hard, even just as general youth. Let me say I'm also a youth today, under 40. So it's under 40s in the geomatics profession in Zimbabwe. To even get registered seems like a headache. I'm happy that things are starting to happen. A few more practitioners are getting in from the under 40 age group. But it's been a headache and it's still not where it should be. And it's not easy. And I just want to say that we won't win the battle by being antagonistic or, fighting the elders. We need to cooperate with them. We need to find a balance with them. We need, while being, we need to be tactful. While knowing what we want to achieve, we still need to engage them because we can't move forward without them mentoring us. So that balance is always necessary. So just to encourage the young people that while we are radical, I'm saying we, just for today, allow me to be young again. So I'm saying while we can be radical, let us also, acknowledge those who already have experienced more than us and try to find friendly and amicable and tactful ways to gather information from them and still be able to shape our own future. I remember Mandaza, when we had this Land Surveyors Day last year, said something that really touched me. Was it Mandaza? Yes, it was Mandaza. To say that whether they like it or not, they are in the sunset of their day, they are in the sunset of their profession. And whether they like it or not, the button stick is being passed on willingly or unwillingly. So it's up to young people to grab that button stick and run with it and make a difference in the geomatics profession and in whatever area that you choose to specialize within the geomatics domain. So the last response, the last question on my list of questions, you can see there was, not quite, word of close, which way the camera is here. So word of close for the youth network. If you don't have any questions, I'm seeing that you're saying I'm looking good, you're not asking me any questions so that I can respond. So just a word of advice, I'd like to really thank you for having had me on the live streaming 2 p.m. On a Thursday, the 7th of March. It's such an honor to be recognized as one of our own. I wouldn't want people on my grave to say, oh, we knew More Blessing, we found that she was great and inspirational, but it's nice that I'm alive and you give me an opportunity just to share a bit of myself, to share my experiences, no matter how small, no matter how insignificant they may seem to me. But it's great to know that there's a group which is known as SIG that totally appreciates what I'm doing, that totally appreciates me as a person. And I want you to know that I'm part of this family and that I'm committed to supporting you in any way. I may not be currently in the motherland, but I still am committed even to education. I'm offering myself in different capacities to different educational institutions. I'm still part of the ZIG Education Committee and very committed to anything that we shall do as a network that requires even my presence back home. Understand that you have my commitment. Are there any questions? I'll just hang around for 5 minutes and find out if there are any questions. Maybe I need to type it out. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Trevor, you're there. Paul, you're here. Veronica, you're here. Absalom, are there any questions? Are there any questions? If you're not, we can then that's shut down. Are there? I'm typing. Any questions? Okay. Network Mawan Pandiri Panapa. Okay, Trevor, our dog right there. Yeah. Oh. Right, Dennis Chikubu is following, but no one is asking questions. You need to ask questions so that we can engage more, fruitfully. Okay, there's a question. How can one be successful in our profession, Doc? For starters, don't believe anyone who says you can't do it. Don't believe anyone who says you can't do it. You also need to be very, very, I can say, firm. We can't all be firm. Maybe we're made differently. Some people are soft, some people are what, but surveying is not an easy, can I say, profession. It's a difficult profession because you're going to find yourself out in the field most of the time. You're dealing with people who are, being in the field is stressful all the time. Even with the softer parts of our profession that have sort of merged into land surveying, the geoinformation aspect, like photogrammetry, remote sensing. You're going to be dealing with clients. You're going to be dealing with hardcore people in construction, people with sometimes more experience than you, people who believe maybe you're not in the right place, you belong somewhere else. So the first thing that I've learned to be successful is, one, know what you want, pursue it no matter what. Secondly, be firm, be goal-oriented, plan. If you don't plan, you're planning to fail. I remember even when I was doing my PhD during my PhD days, it was not easy. It was not easy to get there. There were times when I was convinced that I absolutely don't know anything. But you know what? When that happened, I would not let that, step on me. I would take it as an opportunity, to prove that that I am in the right place, that I belong there. So continue to reinvent yourself, continue to professionally develop yourself, continue also to network and engage, because it's a world of, when you, even especially, let's say you're in private practice, it's a world of networking. You strive on networks and you strive on peer acknowledgement as well. So it's not you need to be networked. Don't operate in isolation. So start developing that even from student network. I have to step back and bring it back to student level, because I'm assuming that mainly the audience is a youth network. So start building your connections, your links, even from student level. Learn the art of networking. Apart from just having knowledge, learn to network and learn to reinvent yourself. Don't remain, like what our elders have done. I know Chikumbo is online. I can see that I'm not offending you guys, but I'm just saying we must learn, to be progressive, to reinvent ourselves, because our career is tied up to technology, and technology is fast changing. If we don't change, I always use a line that says disrupt or be disrupted. If we don't disrupt the status quo, we will be disrupted. We are hearing of geographers who believe now they can do the things that we do. But we know that is not true, because our strength is in the accuracy of our positioning. Our strength is in positioning, and positioning at a high level of accuracy. And no one, blue or red, can take that away from us, because we do it best. So believe in yourself. Don't be convinced that you are a zebra when you're an elephant. If you're an elephant, you're an elephant. You need to trade on and show that you're an elephant. And that, for me, uh, helps be successful. I'm responding to Paul Nyati's question: how can one be successful in our profession, Doc? By being yourself and remembering who you are and remaining who you are against the odds always, but not doing that in isolation, but in collaboration with colleagues, in collaboration with comrades, in collaboration with peers, in collaboration with friends, in collaboration with the youth, the old, the elders, the senior, in collaboration with everyone, even with political figures, because when you're dealing with land, you're going to meet the community, you're going to deal with the public, you're going to deal with legal people. So you need to be fully connected. I think we're in the last 4 minutes, if you can hear me clearly. So maybe just to close it up, if there are no other questions or the 6 new comments, I can just take one more question and then I'll need to get going. Also seeing, we were also young, Doc, and went through the same. What good reasons are there now to change the process? Not so sure what you mean there. Are there any questions? Afternoon? It's so flying our flag high. What do you think should be done to link our curriculum with industry, i.e., produce relevant graduates to industry? How are you working towards addressing all this, since you're part of SIG Education and Training Committee? Okay, joined late, so I hope you had not addressed it. No, I hadn't addressed it. What I think is there's an important need. Of course, we've got industrial attachment, but I don't think it's building that strong link between industry and universities as such. I think there's still a lot of unsaid wars between industry itself and academia. I think it comes from the seniors. I wasn't involved in any war. Please don't crucify me for something I didn't do. I wasn't battling with anyone, but I think with our senior academics, there was a bit of unsaid, bad relationships that have caused industry not to want to, or academia not to seem to tie together so closely with, or industry and academia not to seem to tie closely together. But what I'd like to say, as someone who's very passionate about education, it is very necessary for us to keep reinforced. As a member of the SIG Education Committee, I am the deputy secretary there. Some of the things that we've been talking about are having industry visit academia and academia visit industry more. Not a visit as in I'm needing to come and assess a student if I'm from the academic side, but to just have, like, for example, we can just get a team of industry experts to pay a visit to survey camp, to help the students, learn to set up instruments, to help them with real life experiences. So I'd say basically there needs to be a build up of that relationship. If that relationship is clear, so then the industry needs can feed into academia, and academia can be more open-minded to continuously, review their curriculum and see if it is addressing the needs of industry. So one of the things that we spoke about in the SIG Education Committee was to look at local accreditation. You remember for a long time, we're trying to see if we can be accredited with Plateau. I don't know if Plateau has changed names in South Africa. See if we can get accreditation with Plateau as educational institutions. But we were looking at, as an education network in Zimbabwe, looking at localized accreditation, what the industry standard is, how we can meet that industry standard. We want to set standards to say, like, for example, even if during training, how many students per total station? Because you have cases where, for example, a university like certain university, maybe just keep it professional, I won't mention names. There are certain universities that can start a survey department without even equipment. How do you produce a survey professional without equipment? So looking at trying to standardize without, crucifying anyone, but working together with academia and saying, look, you cannot do this if you don't have this. Otherwise, you'll produce, an inferior product, which will be inferior within the industry, and not, being inferior within an industry can be frustrating for a young person. And they don't sign up for that. They sign up for a program that will get them employment. So we're trying to engage more as ZIG Education Committee with industry, and to engage more with academia to strengthen the relationship between the two institutes for the better. Okay. Desiree. Oh, Desiree is online. Desiree is my workmate here. So hi, Desiree, and welcome to the live video. You come when it's almost over. I'm cutting it off in 1 minute. I had set 30 minutes for it, so I'll need to be saying my goodbyes. So what's your feeling? Let me answer the last question. What's your feeling regarding the future of surveying, taking into consideration for African economies and technology? I'm a freak. I'm very technologically biased. I'm a person who enjoys innovative ideas. I enjoy technology, and I like to see professions adopt professions like our own, the survey profession. You know that the background is for us to change from land surveying to geomatics. It's because we've brought in the informatics bit into our profession. So in terms of how fast we're adapting, I don't think we're adapting fast enough. I think Africa lags behind in taking up a lot of the technology, but at a small scale. We see already using GNSS, we're already using even GIS. The municipalities are trying to implement GIS already. So we're not doing so badly, and there's open source solutions to some of the things that we think we can't do. So we're not doing so badly, but I think our greatest letdown is in terms of our minds. If we free our minds as developing countries, then we'll go a long way. We are so afraid to try new things. And those who are, who have, have had the pleasures of the profession are not ready to, to pass on the rope. That I must say without fear or favor, they're not ready to pass on the rope to the next generation. They're not ready to empower someone. So they're not ready in a way to reproduce themselves, because you're perhaps afraid. It's like me not being ready to train even students or train a master student because I'm scared that they're going to take my job. But they can never take my job because they can never have the level of experience that I have. They are starting from 0, I'm already at 10. So if we understand that and we operate with a free mind and knowing that we can be anywhere in the world and we don't need to tie ourselves down to a particular opportunity, I think as developing countries, we will go far. So I think that's the last question that I see for the day. It's been a really exciting afternoon, and the 30 minutes have moved really fast. Okay, Wilfred, my Tamala and Wilfred, hey, Gloria, I look so smart. I made an effort. I knew I'd be online, so I really made an effort to try and look proper. So if there are no questions, I think I've dealt with most of the questions. I started, for those who joined a lot later, I had a list. I wrote down a list because I'd asked the network if they could give me a list of questions that they wanted me to address, and I didn't get any. So I simply scribbled basic intro, who I am, my career history, how I got where I am, my greatest ambition, my definition of success. Have I ever failed as a person? Yes, I have. I failed several times. But what is important is rising after I failed. And how did I deal with it when I failed? Whenever I fail, I try and do something that will make me feel better. I start a PhD, I start another program. I become a drone pilot so that I remind myself that yes, I can do it. It's not the end of the world. In my passion in geomatics, I'm interested in photogrammetry and land surveying because I'm interested in solutions for land surveying, in image-based solutions for land surveying, making sure that those things that we do in a day-to-day, how can they be done more efficiently in different ways, in innovative ways. And my view on innovation, the Youth Roadmap map for geomatics, and finally, I gave a word of close for the youth network. So with that, I'd like to close. I need to have lunch. I didn't have lunch, so I need to dash out and get something to eat. It's been a pleasure being on the live video, and I'll be cutting it off. So bye. I'm going. Bye.